Hey guys, it's Kaz here, aka Cats and Camera, and today I'm doing my April wrap-up video. In April I read 9 things, 3 were trade paperbacks, I read 1 ebook novella and 5 physical books, and I gave out 1 3-star and 8 4-stars because I don't rate on Goodreads the way that a lot of people do. All in all, this month I read a total of 2,262 pages. Let's just get into the books. So first I read The Vast Fields of Ordinary by Nick Bird. This was my 1 3-star of the month. I did enjoy this book. It's basically a coming of age in high school. So it's quite tropey. Sometimes I don't mind tropes, but such things as the main character sort of fooling around with one of the closeted footballers, I think it's a footballer, I can't even remember, but one of the sporty people at school, and the sort of sassy female friend who is a little bit girl-hatey in this. Throughout the book she talks about this one girl that she used to be friends with, and like every time she mentions her she's calling her a whore, and she gets paid to have sex, and there's loads of guys always queuing up for her, and it's just a bit cringe. But I did kind of like it. Like I say, I gave it 3 stars. It was enjoyable. I liked the romance a bit further on in the book, but the ending wrapped up really quickly. Like something happened and it was a bit out of the blue, and then it was just like one chapter that just knitted everything together, and it's like, oh, several months later and then this has happened. And I don't like it when books do that. I don't like it when something happens and then they only use 1 chapter or 2 chapters to wrap everything up after the main big thing that happens. So yeah, it was okay. Check it out if you like gay contemporaries. Next I read volume 9 of Chew. This is by Rob Guillory and John Layman. I don't even know what to say about it because I talk about it too much, but as always, here, oh that's a cool page to open it as. Here are some of the pages and what the artwork looks in it. This one, again, I gave it 4, but it'd probably be closer to a 4.5 because a lot of things happen in this, and right at the end something big happens, you're like, oh my god, I need to read the next one, because it's just like, what? But yeah, this is just a riot, and it's, you know what, I don't even know why I gave it 4 and not 5, because this is a really great volume. But yeah, check this series out if you haven't already. Please, I keep recommending it. I need people to check it out because it's so good. After that I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and this one, again, it would probably be closer to a 4.5 rather than a 4, but it didn't get the 5 from me. I'm very picky with 5s, but it was just, I don't know what it was, but there was something that didn't quite get a 5 for me. But it's a great read. As I'm sure most people on BookTube know, it's about main character Star, and she witnesses one of her old friends get killed by a police officer. He was unarmed and black, and the police officer was obviously armed and white, and it's very current, very now, hot topics talked about, because obviously it is a big thing that happens in America. And also not just the topics, but even the sort of contents and the pop culture references and stuff. It's very much for this age of people, for the references of the music and the slang and stuff like that, and Tumblr. It's just very much for the now, and it's a really important read. I also like the fact that this is very sort of universal, not trying to take away from what happens at all. Like, do not take this that sort of way, but even as somebody that lives in England who's white, I could relate slightly to sort of the living on a council estate. And in the back of this, the Angie Thomas talks about growing up herself and about how there'd be the local drug dealer and everyone would think they're horrible, but really they'd be like kind of nice to their own. And to an extent, I understand that. I lived on a council estate. There was the local drug dealer, but it wasn't like crack or whatever in this book. It was weed. And he was just like somebody that would be very, very good to his own. And so there's certain bits of this that I could relate to, and I thought that was a testament to Andy's writing, because like I say, completely different worlds, America, black, and all the things with the police. Like, our police don't really have guns, so it's more tasers and stuff like that. But the fact that me, as an English white female, I could find bits that I could relate to, I thought that was a great writing. This did make me cry, as I'm sure it made a lot of people cry, and I will definitely recommend this. I like our cover more than the American one. I think the American one it's very cartoony, the front cover, but I really like this one, and I like the spine, it's very pink. After that, I picked up the Wicked and Divine. This is volume 1, the first act, and this one is about these gods that every 90 years they come down to the planet and sort of embody a teenager, and they're alive for like 2 years, I think, and then they go again for another 90 years. Volume is pretty much sort of meeting all of the different gods. There's a lot that goes on, but mostly it's sort of grasping the story. So I'm looking forward to reading the second one to see where it progresses to. I thought this one was quite complex. It's definitely worth a reread because of all the different characters and all the names and stuff. It's definitely something that you have to pay attention to while you're reading. But this is the sort of artwork in here. The panel's very sort of based in colour schemes to give the different feelings. After that, I picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I feel like this is something that a lot of people read when it came out, but I found it in a charity shop for £1 and I wanted to pick it up anyway, so I thought, why not grab that one and check it out. This is a fantasy series, sort of kind of loosely based on Russian names and areas. I wouldn't say folklore or anything like that, but it's got a Russian vibe to it anyway. And basically in this book there is this darkness that's sort of overcoming quite a bit of the world, and then because of that there's horrible creatures in there and they're trying to figure out how to stop that. I did really enjoy this, but the fact that I'm not like, oh, I need the second book, shows that it's not as enjoyable as some other series for me. For instance, when I read The Raven Cycle, the first one, The Raven Boys, like instantly I had to go online straight away and buy the next one. But I don't feel like this with this one. I feel like I can just keep checking back and seeing if I can get it second hand for cheap, because that's the kind of person I am. But I did really enjoy it, so if you like fantasy stuff, I definitely recommend this book. Next up, I read Passenger by Andrew Smith. This is the second in the duology. The first one is The Marbury Lens, and this follows Jack, who has a lot of stuff happen to him in real life, and then somebody approaches him with these glasses, and when you put them on you can go to this other world. It's sort of like dystopian. It's the same world, but something's happened to it and a lot of people are dead and there's creatures and there's a lot of fighting for survival. And yeah, I mean, I love Andrew Smith. I love his writing. If you like weird, dark and a bit unnerving, then I definitely suggest Andrew Smith's work. If you've only ever read Winger by him, then please check out some other things, because that's like the most normal book he's ever written, and all the other things he's written as all have this sort of dark undertone. So if you like that, check them out. I'm kind of sad I've only got one Andrew Smith book left, and then I would have read all of them, and I don't want to have finished. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a great add-on. The Marbury Lens probably could have been a single book, and sometimes when they add a second book on, it's kind of maybe ruins the story or doesn't bring something or changes how characters act. But I thought this was a really great sequel, and it sort of answered a lot of questions but also left a lot of questions open. That's another thing that I like about Andrew Smith's work. He doesn't like to just wrap everything up in a nice string at the end. But yeah, if you enjoy sort of dark dystopia sci-fi in a way that there's a lot of killing and a lot of gruesome things described, but also some great friendships as well, then I suggest this series and this author. Next up, I read Openly Honestly by Bill Konigsberg. This is the novella that kind of is set in between Openly Straight and Honestly Ben. And I just thought this was super sweet. It was a really nice edition. It's only 50 pages, but it really made me want to go back and read Openly Straight again, because it reminded me that I really loved them characters. And it also makes me really want to read Honestly Ben, but I'm gonna wait a little while until it's cheaper. Sorry. But I am really looking forward to that one. Next, I read The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakovic. This book is about this made-up sport, XE, which is like hockey and lacrosse, I think, sort of that sort of thing. But yeah, it's based around this game that was invented in this book, and it follows our main character Neil, who has a really sort of dark, mysterious, secretive past. He's run away a lot of his life from different places, and throughout the book we kind of see glimpses into what happened to him in his past. And all the other characters, there's a lot of darkness. He basically gets picked for an XE team that's just for people that have had bad pasts. That's the kind of easily rounded up way of describing this. But so because of that, all the other characters have different things in them that kind of a little bit put you on edge reading it. It's not a book about likeable characters. I feel like some people wouldn't like it because they would say that the characters aren't likeable enough. But I enjoy reading that. I enjoy reading about dark subjects and about people that aren't perfect, and none of the characters in here are perfect. They are far from it. But I really enjoyed this one. This is a self-published book. It's a trilogy, and I'm looking forward to getting the next one. But one of the things I enjoyed about this, other than all the characters and all of the background stuff that we learn and the fact that it's really interesting, I thought that Nora did an amazing job at describing XE. It's a made-up sport, but reading this book, I could picture myself watching it. I know exactly how it works. And I've read books about rugby players before, and there've been a lot of talk in it. For instance, this one. So for instance, when I read Out of the Pocket by Bill Konigsberg, the main character in here plays American football, and it's described a lot of different times, all the different times that he played it. And I still don't understand what's going on. I don't understand plays. I enjoyed that book, but I didn't know, I couldn't picture in my head how things were happening because I didn't understand it. But this is a made-up sport, and I could physically imagine watching it, and I know how it's played. So that is definitely a testament to Nora as a writer. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the next one in this series, see what's going on with all the different characters. Yes, looking forward to it. And last but certainly not least, I read volume 10 of Chew. This one is Blood Pudding. It's Chew, innit? It's got everything I love about Chew. It's got little random crime scenes that are hilarious. For example, this isn't really spoiling for the main story arc, but here are a lot of crimes committed by using candy and sweets, and it's really fun and wacky, but it's also got a great overall arc. This one, we carry on from the last one, which, as you know from earlier on in the video, some big things happened at the end of the last one, and it carried on into here, and it was really interesting to see where it was going. Again, big things happen at the end of this one as well, and there's only 2 volumes left, and I'm so sad. But some things got wrapped up in this one, but we've still got an even bigger overarching story that needs wrapping up, and yes, read Chew. So those are all the things I read in April. I thought it was a really great reading month. There's a lot of good books there that I read, nothing that I hated or disliked. So all in all, a good month for me. So let me know down below what you read in April, or even what you read in the first 2 weeks of May, seeing as we're here now. The Grisha trilogy, is that something I really need to get on because the next book's amazing, or do you feel like it's alright for me to wait a bit until I can find it for cheaper? I picked up a few of these things in April, so I will leave my April book haul down below if you want to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, then please do check it out, and if you like that and like my channel, then please subscribe. Also, let's just acknowledge the fact I didn't even change my jumper to pretend that I'm recording this on different days like I have done in the past. This is just what I'm wearing today for all my videos. Little baby. What are you doing, Quashy? Anyway guys, I will see you in a few days with another video. Bye.